And we are live. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you reside, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gym in a Crypto episode 359. Today is Friday, March 8th, and I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, and we are here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community Monday through Friday at 10-ish and 3-ish.
Right, we all over the place. Today we have a very special episode. We have Matt Hawkins here with us, the CEO of Cudo Miner. Of course, we're going to be talking about mining, their specific mining in general, regulations, and everything else that has to go along with that. I know we have a lot of people that watch us that always ask about mining, looking for different ways to make money or to get active in the ecosystem, and this is definitely one. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Matt.
Yeah, thanks. Glad to be here.
For sure.
Good to have you, Matt.
Thank you for being here. Again, folks, Matt is the CEO of Cudo Miner. Where Cudo is saying they want to make it easy for people to mine and make use of their hardware. And of course, Matt believes this kind of decentralized network is better for the environment. And his vision for Cudo is to help make computing more ethical, whether it's carbon offsetting, all is computing, or creating innovative ways to donate to charity. Another place where Cudo Miner has started their business, Cudo Donate. So Matt, can you tell us about your miner, who you are, your background in cryptocurrency, all that good intro information everybody likes?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Well, before this, I previously had a data center and cloud company. So we ran that. Well, I ran that for about 16 years, and we ended up doing about 1% of the UK's internet backbone. One of the things we learned when I was doing that was there was just huge amounts of IT waste. We had tens of thousands of servers that at any point in time they're not doing anything because you've got cloud environments that have got the typical patterns where you've got to try and fill the workloads, but because it's contracted workload, you can never fit customers in between those gaps. And businesses, at the end of the day, you've got PCs just sat there, generally just left on, weekends doing nothing. And what I wanted to do was to actually build something that was going to be able to make use of all that spare capacity. Something I'd wanted to do probably for about 5-6 years, but the technology just wasn't there. And if you look in the world, there's about 2 billion PCs at any point in time that aren't being used, and the same, about 2 billion smartphones as well. So the compute potential is huge. But at the same time, brand new data centers are being built, new infrastructure is being built, and actually the resource already sits there that's out there in the market.
So when you were initially working on your first business, that was cloud computing. You had that mixed into it? Oh, wow. Yeah. You're way ahead of the curve. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to welcome Matt again, everybody. He's going to be our in-house weekly technical advisor on cloud computing, since we always talk about it.
Yeah. So if you need anything fixing, that's fine.
Okay. I'm with you there, Matt. I used to work IT. So much waste. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's incredible. And people are just building new hardware on it. It sits there already, plugged in, turned on.
Oh, yeah.
And so, really started getting involved properly in blockchain a few years ago. And I realized, actually, this is the first time you can actually make use of that hardware, because you need something that's going to scale globally. You need something that you can create trust on in untrusted environments across millions of different machines. And you need a payment mechanism that can do micropayments. So you can do tiny bits of work, tiny calculations, and pay for that, anything up to, huge amounts of works and full shares like you would do normally. So cryptocurrency made the payment mechanism, and also across all of the different countries where everybody's got different currencies, it enabled one payment method, and then blockchain enabled basically the ability to track and scale and put in smart contracts so you can just track everything end to end. So I sort of put those two together, and that's it. We can really make use of the hardware that was out there.
So this is like an organic idea from you. I mean, you're literally working on a different company, you said, for about 15 or 16 years before you sold it. And you saw where the market kind of opened up to something different.
Yes, I kind of realized I could take the learnings that we'd done from running the data center business and apply that to software and blockchain, and we could replicate that globally, across the global infrastructure. So that was the idea behind it. And then kind of we've always had an area where we want to do good as well. So our data centers were always carbon neutral, they were green. On the charity side as well, we realized actually we can do something good with this spare resource, and let people either donate the funds from their devices, or also let people actually make those compute resources available so they can be used for cancer research and other scientific projects.
So with the data center, quick question: did you ever buy or sell from Mark Zuckerberg?
No, I did not.
He like, I don't know nothing about what he's talking about.
Yeah.
All right. So when you thought about the Cudo miner or mining, in general, how long did it take you for you to come up with this, create this, and of course, right now you're launching it to market. So how long has this process been for you? How did you get started?
Yeah, well, I actually designed it sort of back in 2013, but I had issues with payments, I had issues with tracking, I had issues with scalability. So, we actually started development on this back in 2017. And really we've been building it. So we've got a team of us and we've been building it ever since then. So we took over a year getting it right, getting the product right, get the service right, so before we could put it with a big test audience. So we tested with about 20,000 users, gave us thousands of different machines that we could test across, get the product right, get the service right. And that's what we've really been doing to date. And then it's only the last kind of few weeks that we've actually gone, okay, right, now it's ready to go out there. And I kind of took the learnings because we tried all the different software that was out there, and there's some great software, but they all do small bits in different places. Nothing kind of does everything all in one. So we decided, okay, let's build it. So this is just a simple install, click, all-in-one solution that just makes it really simple for anybody to monetize their hardware, whether it's a laptop, a PC, all the way up to rigs or full rig farms as well.
Nice. And I wanted to ask, going along with that, as far as the capability of mining, the actual mining process, I saw here that you have the Autocoin switching for maximum profitability. I just wanted you to discuss that more so our listeners can actually know exactly what Cudo Miner does.
Yeah, sure. So if you go back a few years, you could take some of the command line miners, like Claymore's been a brilliant miner, where you could mine Ethereum, and that would be the most profitable coin. And you just leave it on there, you get a 1% fee, and then that's it. Then you connect to a pool, which gives you a fee, and you could leave it. As more and more altcoins have come out, algorithms are changing. On a daily basis, the most profitable coin is changing. Sure. So block rewards are changing, such as Ethereum, where they reduce the amount that they're paying out per block. You've got difficulty changing, you've got prices changing. There's so many dynamics. So we've built a profit engine which monitors the entire market. And across all of the coins, it's then on a constant basis looking based on your hardware. So the software installs, it benchmarks your hardware, benchmarks all of the different algorithms, and then monitors at any point in time what is the most profitable coin to mine. And then it will mine that coin. And then say it changes in an hour, it will then mine that coin. And what we do is then we give the users the ability to change back to multiple coins. So we've got Ethereum, Bitcoin, Ravencoin, Monero. And we basically do the work of going to the exchanges, converting that back, and then converting it back into Bitcoin. So it saves a lot of headache, and it means you're always kind of at the top of the market. You're always getting the top of the market coin, no matter when it changes. And then also one of the things, there's forks that happen. There's software updates on miners, which happen, on a weekly basis. So we automatically update that as well. So it kind of just gets rid of all the headaches. That was the idea behind it.
Nice. Yeah. And I remember actually using Genesis mining for a while, having to do it manually, having to try and look up on crypto wars and see what's profitable, go back to Genesis mining and changing it day in, day out. And that is definitely a headache. So yeah, this is definitely a good feature I think people would like, because if you can get maximum profitability from mining, you don't have to keep up, so to say, with every single coin. And that was the crazy part. So also too, you started listing the coins. What are all of the coins that you actually support in full?
Yeah, we've got a few of them on the screen there. So we've got Monero, Ravencoin, Ethereum Classic, Verge, Vertcoin. We've just added Grin. We've got Beam coming on. We've got about another 3 or so coins coming on actually. So we add coins. We're now in the state that we add coins every 2 weeks. So and And that is either because they're more profitable, or actually people have said, actually, we'd like to get paid out. So Litecoin, for example, is another one that's coming up that they say they want to get paid out in Litecoin. So we kind of, everything we build is now on user feedback. So we engage. We've got people in Telegram that say, actually, we'd love these features, and then we just prioritize.
So yeah, speaking of that, that's how you decide which coins. That was my next question. How do you decide which coins come out next? Because you're jumping on Grin. You said Beam is coming out. Of course, that's like the biggest news right now, I guess, in this bear market is being able to mine or trade or do it or whatever with those coins. So what made you decide this is the direction we're going to go next?
Well, we have to look at, you look on forums, you look on different news, you look on Twitter, you look on Telegram, you just follow what's the coins that are coming out that have actually got a good team behind them, have got good development, they've got a good roadmap, they're kind of matching the ethics of the people that want to follow it. And generally, they're the ones that are going to be successful, because the earlier you get in with a coin, the less difficulty you've got and the more profitability you've got. So people will do coins either for profitability or they believe, in that project. So you might find, and we find this, some of the coins, they'll be incredibly profitable for maybe 6 weeks. And then after that, the profit might be a third of what it was beforehand, but still can be the most profitable. If you, like the Grin 31, if you took that in the first 2 weeks, it's 2 to 3 times more profitable than it is now. So we're going to be bringing these coins out as they go live, which means straight away you can monetize.
Nice. To make sure people get a chance to actually, monetize off it, make some money off it. So, a lot of our viewers are brand new. They don't know much about cryptocurrency, much less about mining. But, let's say they hear that mining is a way for you to earn crypto for free or less work or just using your computer. What would be like the basic broad steps you would tell someone that, hey, this is the way you can download Cudo Miner and get going? What would you tell someone?
I mean, obviously you need a PC or a laptop to start with. So as long as you've got that, it's Windows, Linux, or Mac. You just literally go to the website, click download, create an account. It benchmarks your device for a few minutes, and then that's it. It's as simple as that. That was the idea. So, and then you just decide what you want to get paid in. So if you want to get paid in Bitcoin or Ethereum, we've actually got Fiat payout coming out in 2 weeks' time. So you can get paid in, dollar or whatever other currencies you want as well.
Right. So they don't need these, the mining rigs, the server farms. You literally can just grab a laptop and get started, or a desktop computer.
Yeah. I mean, if you look from the kind of the most simple level, there's about 2 billion people or so that are unbanked, don't have form of identity, don't have ID. They need a way of getting into this digital currency. So mining is a really simple way for them to do it. They can download, our miner or anyone else's miner, start earning some currency, and then that's a great thing to start playing with it. See, get used to it. It's a bit of a learning process, isn't it, crypto? So, but once you're in, it kind of sucks you in, and you can't get back out. So it's a really, whatever's the easiest way to adopt people into this industry, I think is going to help. Even from other people that are creating wallets, there's a lot of, it's a very young industry, and if you take the hosting industry in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was the same. It was like if you wanted to create cloud companies, and you had to kind of get bits of software from everywhere and patch it all together to try and do it. And now there's amazing software out of the box that you can install and you can become a hosting company. So we're sort of in the same evolution now where it is in blockchain. It's just 20 years later, which is quite often how these cycles go.
It moves fast. Oh yeah, and I really like that feature with the CPU and GPU mining, especially the fact that it states on the website that it mines while your system is idle. So it actually doesn't. You don't have the computers running like it sounds like a huge fan in the background. Sits dormant, and then it waits for the system to be idle. I love that feature simply because it's efficient, and most people that are just getting into mining, the first thing they wonder is, man, why can't my computer work? Because I have this working in the background with some other one. So I love that feature as well.
Yeah, great. And it's anything from it.
Was that?
Yeah, if you're using it as your normal PC, just install it on that and get going. If you want to buy a rig, it's still profitable to do rigs, not as profitable as it used to be, but
Yeah.
I like the fact that we can see and talk to you, you know, CEO of a mining company. One of the things that we had advised a lot of people the last few years on was not getting into some of the cloud mining schemes that are out there, where, you know, I'm sure you've seen the industry, they're popping up left and right. And we literally have people calling us like, hey, they're telling us we can give them $3,000 to $5,000 now. 6 months later, this is how much we get back for every week. And it's like, you know, we do our due diligence on the company. It's like we can't find a location. We can't find a team, a CEO. It's like
tutorial,
right? Not tutorial. So the fact that, and again, this is, you know, you guys are new, and we've been playing around with it, and we like what we see so far. But it's just one of those things that, like, at least your website's actually providing information. You don't have a lot of misspellings or any. We can call you up and have you here live to talk more about it. So I think that's pretty cool. But with that being said, what are your thoughts on some of these cloud mining companies out there, whether a scheme or actual, you know, a real, like we said, you mentioned Genesis Mining. What are your thoughts on some of these? Hey, download or subscribe here, pay this, and we can cloud compute everything for you.
Yeah, I think, again, there was a lot of early internet days, you know, there's a lot of scam websites and things that have come out, and it's an opportunity. Anything that's new to the market, and especially that's not regulated yet, it's an opportunity for people to create scams. So that was the important thing for us, was to make sure, you know, you've got a face. And the only way the blockchain and, you know, mining industry is actually going to get a good reputation is people put their names to it, and it's got a face, and you educate people. You know, it can't just stay underground. It can start underground, but if you want mass adoption, it's got to move up a level. Right. So I would say, if you're going to work with a mining company and take mining services, the most important thing is to do your maths on what they've got for cost. So look at the cost of the package, look at how much they take for maintenance, look at how much they take for power, and just add that up over how long you're gonna, you know, run it for, and also understand the market, so as well as you can. But if you take, just look at the kind of typical economic model of the bubble and burst, get an idea of where you are in the market and how long you want to run that contract for. And that's really how you're going to work out whether it's going to be profitable or not. Because there was a lot of people that signed up for these contracts in 2018, and, you know, all of them would have lost money. So
that was really good advice. Yeah. Really good advice right there. So if you're listening, as you said, look at the chart, figure out where we are on that psychological chart. Are we at the top, you know, accumulation phase? We're about to dip. Figure out where we are right there, and set up your mining schedule and plans that way. You have the best way to optimize your returns and minimize or mitigate those losses and risks you could take.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because the money you put in, if you put it into mining and you do it at the bottom of the market, and you're mining as the price is going up, that's actually optimal way to do it. So
right now, people download Cudo Miner, check it out. Let us know how good it is.
We're giving you this at a perfect time.
Right. This actually is at a perfect. I mean, you're launching at a perfect time, realistically. So that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I think the best time to launch is when the market's low, because you can only go up.
It's like, we can only win. People use this miner in 6 months, they can only be happy with this.
Oh yeah, and I know it mentions CPU and GPU mining. I had to ask because I know somebody will. Is it ASIC compatible?
Great. I'm glad you did ask that.
I'm sure people that have brought that up, throw it out there.
It will be very soon.
Okay. Yeah, because I just know that.
So get your one ASIC out there, folks, and you can
get Maine and
get your one.
Get your Raspberry Pis ready. But
yeah, we wanted to take out of the advantages of everything we built and then apply it to ASICs. We'll also be applying it to FPGAs, so kind of.
So wherever people want to go with it, they'll have the capability. You're making sure everything's built in. That's pretty cool. Oh, yeah. All right, let's you know, as we continue to talk about the miner, because I definitely want to ask you about Cudo Donate toward the end. But also want to ask you about some of the businesses out there, some of the, you know, everything that's going on in the ecosystem when it comes to mining. And one of the first articles we have, as we pull it up here, let me make sure I screen share this thing so everyone can see it. But yes. Former ICE turned Bitcoin mining firm sells beverage business. This is one of the ones we talked about. When did it come out? Like a couple of years ago, almost a year?
Beginning of 2018.
Okay, so Lone Blockchain, previously named Long Island Iced Tea, that's right, an iced tea company, which decided to start mining, has reached an agreement to sell its ready-to-drink tea business to Canadian firm ECC2 Ventures. The deal has been documented with the SEC. It was filed March 6th. But yeah, it looks like at the beginning of 2018, the company rebranded itself from Long Island iced tea to long blockchain during the time in which we called it the blockchain stimulus package, because if you're a business who consider yourself blockchain anything, you make money. And they saw a 500% jump in shares on the traditional market, which is crazy, noting that it hoped to raise money to purchase more Bitcoin miners. Then, of course, as the market went down in 2018, they came back around in August and said they changed its line of business and was going to focus on loyalty schemes that also leverage digital ledger technology. Basically, they just wanted to go into anything crypto related. So my first question to you is, are you familiar with Long Island blockchain or Long Island Bitcoin mining blockchain, wherever they call themselves now? Are you familiar with them? And in general, what are your thoughts on companies, traditional companies? Just say, I used to sell, Pop-Tarts, and then all of a sudden we turn to blockchain. What are your thoughts on companies to mining or the blockchain business in general?
Yeah. I remember when this story first came out, actually, and it was kind of made me think that the crash is imminent. because yeah, it's like, a drinks company just changes their name and that you've gone up 500%. It means that it's gone past mass, media, and it's really in hysteria. And that's the time to get out. So I think, and they didn't actually have anything behind it as well. It was a name change, wasn't it? Unless I'm
the only thing they had was fresh. That was it.
Yeah, exactly. So and I mean, you can't tell from the article, but you can't see that anything's actually behind this one either. They just managed to sell off the old business and haven't really got a clue what they're going to be doing with that money.
Oh, that's a great point too. We're not. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't say in the article. They're just selling the old business. I mean, they're literally with data. I mean, this from working in a data center, owning one. But I mean, literally, another company could just be buying the customer data, saying whatever is worth the $2 million.
They actually walked away with $300K at the end of it. So it's like
it might be a win-win.
I would say, they were like, man,
take these email addresses. You guys do what you do. We'll do this.
Yeah, it's enough to buy a few Long Islands anyway.
And I mean, speaking of companies that do that, what do you think about Kodak actually bringing up their cash miner, basically getting miners and slapping Kodak on the side of it? What do you think about their mining scheme that came and collapsed later?
Yeah, I mean, it literally looked like an ant miner with a Kodak sticker on the side.
Right. Yeah. That was the funny thing we joked about when this came out. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I could understand if a cloud company had done it, and in a way, Kodak were into physical products, weren't they? So actually selling those, if the market had been going the right way, I think they're probably realizing, the camera market, it has been dying for quite a long time. What other digital products can we get into, and seeing this as an opportunity? At least it's more in their sector than a drinks company.
That's true. Yeah, some type of tech.
Yeah. I think it's just one of the many companies that kind of were trying to jump on the bandwagon as the market was growing, without actually having, because it would have just been outsourced to one of the companies that Bitmain or one of the other rebranders uses.
So how do you plan on, personally, you and Cudo Miner, how do you guys plan to stay competitive when this happens again? Because that's the thing. I mean, this is definitely going to happen again once we see, once the market recovers, go another crazy bull run. There's going to be C-SPAN mining rig all of a sudden. Like, hey, why'd you watch C-SPAN in government debate? You can mine some coins, mine some JPY coin. So in general, maybe not just that, but what are your thoughts on how you all will approach competition in the market once, it becomes an attractive market again?
Yeah. Well, one of the points that I mentioned was the ASIC management. So actually, if you've got more than one ASIC, or even if you have got one ASIC, there's still things that you can do to make them more profitable. So if you just connect an ASIC to a pool and mine one coin, you've got exactly the same problem that the market adjusts. So we're using the same technology that we've used basically for GPUs, but we'll be applying that to ASICs. So it will make ASICs more profitable. And it also, again, gives them one control panel where you can manage your whole estate. And so we did create kind of an ASIC farm as well that we were testing with and we've been labbing with. And we found ways of getting better uptime off them, you know, running software that actually monitors if their hash rates are going down or if the temperature's got problems, and then fixes them. So there's a lot that you can improve on an ASIC that comes out of the box.
True. I'm glad you actually said something about the temperature and the hash rate. Energy. Everybody's talking about mining is going to kill the earth and the environment, not the multiple wars and nuclear weapons everybody has stored everywhere. It will be Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency mining industry. Somehow. With that being said, we saw how, and I'll pull it back up as well here so everybody who's listening can see it. But you were saying, you know, on your website, it was basically saying about how you guys are energy efficient. Some of the things you're working with is sustainable. You're being ethical. Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about all this?
Yeah, so as a company ourselves, we buy, you know, we're carbon neutral for everything that we do internally, at least. Then we give the users, which is available very shortly, the option for them to be carbon neutral as well, whether, you know, it's ASICs or GPUs. We're also working with kind of carbon negative products. So one of them is we're working with a company that have produced some hardware. And what it does is it can use the software to generate heat. So it's effectively a computer in an attached heater, and it goes on the side of boilers in multi-tenant buildings or houses. And then while it's doing computing, that can then actually produce the heat. So rather than, you know, a normal heater, that heat is just complete waste heat, and it's complete wasted revenue or cost. If it's doing computing, it's actually doing a good task, which at the moment, that's doing computing in a data center. The data center is then spending more money cooling that heat straight back down again. So you've got huge amounts of waste. We're taking all of that compute and only using it for heating of water. And there's some utility companies that we're working with. Well, sorry, not we are. The people that we're working with are working with the utility companies. And they're looking at proof of concepts to be able to actually provide free heating. So in the UK, there's about 1 million people that can't afford heating in the winter. So if we can get these units out, it means that they can give free heating, and effectively the utilities companies can have their own cloud platforms. So there's a lot of things that actually we can use this technology for good going forwards. And this is the distributed computing side. So I kind of see mining has kind of come from it was needed to get the industry going. But I think more and more we're going to move to computing, which is going to be rendering, AI, other things that have actually got use. And that's what we're focused on long term, is getting real use out of this equipment rather than just generating revenue out of it. And that way, that's where we're, you know, using less resources because you're not building more servers. You can use it for good generation of heat.
True. And I've seen greenhouses that actually they've started using miners for heat for their greenhouses. So the fact that you are, you know, you have this going and it's actually helping people at the same time. That is a great way, I think, to get people to realize, look, it's bigger than, like you said, just printing money. You can actually heat and the energy, you know, causes of, you know, sustainability and all that they talk about. Bitcoin won't be the one to take it away, I don't think. I think this will definitely help it. So glad to see your company is helping as well.
And I mean,
even traditional mining produces heat, so that's still being used, you know, for a good cause.
Well, I mean, listen, solving real world problems doesn't make a lot of money for people, so we know that's not that's not the priority. Are you trying to save people this year? Oh, okay, we're gonna give you a tax bump. You got some free time. Yeah, you know, one thing's talking about some of the heating and providing all this stuff. There's an article that came out today. Again, I'll bring this up, but United States State Department on blockchain. Sometimes government should stay out of the way. And for those who've heard us speak, you know, that's one of our things where right now it's a new market. It's all about innovation. And the government has already shown to us personally that they don't play fair. You know, they're literally coming in just trying to either instruct which way this industry will go or control as much as possible. So it's pretty cool to see, you know, and to see in this story, United States senior government official come out and say the country was closely monitoring global approaches to blockchain, but that also they want to see other countries adopt a light touch and compatible regulations so the private sector has room to innovate and perfect potential new uses for blockchain. It's pretty funny to perfect it because in my head, I'm also thinking they're like, yeah, let them perfect it. Let them get it right first, and then we'll swoop in, guys. All right. But yeah, he also said, as a government, sometimes the best thing we can do is stay out of the way. With that being said, What are some of the things you're seeing in terms of regulation when it comes to the mining industry? What do you see? What do you think's on the horizon? What worries you? You know, give us your take on regulation and mining.
We're not seeing a huge amount of change on regulation.
You're in the UK too, so I want to start off letting everybody know that you're in London, correct?
Yeah, we're in the UK. So there's the only thing that's changed recently is the way that it's taxed. So people are taxed when the mining actually occurs, rather than, and that's where you've effectively created, an asset, and that's the taxable asset. So that's the difference, rather than when you actually sell the coin. So that is, you have to make sure you haven't earned, X pounds of Bitcoin, and then the market drops 90% and you haven't sold it, you're still going to be taxed at that higher rate. So that's the big change in the UK, at least. You've got, I don't actually know in the US if your regulations have changed recently, but I'm not seeing across many countries, because obviously we work with many other countries as well. We're not really seeing a lot of negative change in the regulation. I think it's more, there's regulation going in place, so it's getting rid of people's concerns and worries. So there's only a handful of countries that are actually going, no, we want to completely ban mining, and then some of them are sticking with that. Actually, some of them are now just going, okay, it's a bit of a knee-jerk. Yeah. But that's becoming one of the main currencies over there, isn't it? And I think they're gonna really struggle to try and fight it as well, because.
So, you will be in that conversation. Maybe you already are in there. I heard you say you work with, other miners and people from other countries. But, once Cudo Miner accomplishes all his great lofty goals and everything, you guys might be one of the people that are looked to be in that room. So when it comes to that, that's kind of, we're real big on self-regulation in the community. What are your thoughts on regulation and mining? What do you think personally? How should this be regulated moving into the future?
I think it's difficult to regulate, especially if you look at some of the new algorithms like Mimblewimble and secrecy or privacy coins. As they come out, the whole kind of idea of that is the privacy in the first place. So I think certainly from the UK, at least, they just regulate from a tax point of view. They don't regulate in any other form.
It's all about that's our problem with it too. It's like it's all about the money. They're actually saying, hey, we're regulating from a point of you guys are using too much electricity. But they're literally coming out saying, no, this is a way to tax and you're not paying the man. So
yeah, because they're happy. If you're making money and they can tax you, they're like, carry on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're right. There are some people that are getting double taxes. They're getting taxed when they earn, and they're getting taxed because of how they're using their electricity. I don't think regulation probably should go above just standard taxing. It should be treated as income or capital gains, which is better tax. But beyond that, I think if we're going to start using it more from a financial perspective, then there's going to have to be some sort of regulation. So if you look at STOs, for example, I think that STOs are a fantastic thing that's coming into the market that's going to bring liquidity into a market that hasn't changed for decades. If you look at the public markets, or if you're trying to raise or do an IPO, trying to get liquidity in and out of early stage startups is virtually impossible. It's not until they actually sell or do a trade sale or get acquired that there is any liquidity. So that I think is really going to change those industries. And we're seeing more exchanges now come up that are going to support STOs. And I think certainly in the UK, there's exchanges now going live that are going to support STOs. And as the SEC's kind of letting the exchanges on your side go live, then I think you're really going to see kind of more Crowdcube, Kickstarter type of environments that are going to help businesses get going. So I think that's a really positive thing, but that's still going to be regulated so people don't get scammed on it.
Oh, it was already regulated with the whole STO and exchange. I mean, they literally came in and just broke up the ICO market, because everything you just said you could do with ICO before an STO, before an exchange, before government intervention.
Now nobody even wants to say the word ICO.
Right, ICO is a scary word right now. How crazy is that?
Every presentation they start off with, it's not an ICO, and then they go forward because it's like a battle.
I mean, I get it. Who wants to fight the government all day? But I mean, literally, the world government has whipped a lot of people in this market into submission very quickly. Because I mean, you're literally talking about 12 months ago. This whole thing was a year and a half. This whole thing was different. Middle of 2017, it was no problem running an ICO until it was 30 ICOs a week. And then it was like, oh, you guys are doing what type of numbers over here?
100.
Exactly. Now they're making people pay everyone back.
Hey, this is some paybacks going. Where you at?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that was all for me. I really just wanted to get some of the features that you had. Glad to see it'll be ASIC compatible and that it is carbon neutral. So I'm actually excited for Cudo Miner. I've already signed up on the email to get 5,000 Satoshis.
There we go. I saw that.
Newsletters and updates.
I thought it was 10,000. Was it 5 or 10? How much is it, Matt? Is it 5 or 10,000 Satoshis?
If you use a referral link, it's 10. If you go
referral link.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely signed up for the regular updates and releases. So glad to be a part of the beta team. That's what I'm talking about. Just download the game.
And I'm glad you actually said that. Everyone always asks about cryptocurrency. It isn't changing. Nothing's happening. All this. Like, as Bitcoin's data said, he's a part of the beta team now. This thing is still in beta mode. Jump on it. Get on it, and you have a way to influence a mining company. You have a way to get on, test it out. As Matt said, they're on Telegram. That's on their website, where they're taking feedback from people to figure out what coins they like, what type of mining procedures they like, or what type of tech they want. So here's your chance. We get a decent amount of mining questions on this channel, but here's your chance to actually get them actively involved with the project.
2 clicks.
And you never know. 5 or 10 years from now, you're like, oh yeah, I've been doing Cudo Miner for however long now. And that's how easy it is to become a part of that ecosystem. Matt, I want to ask you about your Cudo Donate. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so we actually launched Donate first. And the idea with Donate was that, again, going back to people's unused machines, if they're sat there idle and you're not using them, why don't you make that available to charities? So we've taken on about 15 or so charities that we've been beta testing with, getting it right. And then the idea is you just click install. It's virtually the same. It's just when you install it, you choose what charity you want to support. And then whenever you're not using your machine, those funds go to the charity. And then we've got that as an option coming very shortly in the main version as well. So in Cudo Miner, you can go, actually, I'd like to give 5% or 10% to charity. And then those funds will go direct to charity, whichever charity you support. And then we've got some larger global charities coming on shortly that can kind of help promote. And then going forward, we want, so those funds at the moment, obviously they go to the charity, but then a percentage of those resources, they then go and spend with cloud providers and cloud platforms to do all their research. So when we've got the distributing computing, we then will let people donate that directly to, like I said, cancer research or other projects they want to support.
I love the way you just explained it. We had the video from the website going in the background. You were like literally on key and on target with the video, so it's pretty cool. But no, that's good. I mean, and again, we always talk about the altruistic nature of the crypto market. So it's pretty interesting. You started off doing this as a way to donate, then switched over to a more profitable business structure on that. So that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I think there's not enough being done for charities in this sector. I think it's running behind. A lot of you've got a lot driven purely by revenue. I think there needs to be more blockchain projects out there that kind of get launched and get mainstream that are going to be supporting good causes.
Well, again, thanks for being here. Before we let you go, what are some things, or if anything, what do you want to leave people with? Make sure they remember, of course, download Cudo Miner, folks. But what's your last few messages you have for us?
Yeah, I think just a little thing on the market. I think, you know, we've seen the market drop a lot over the last year, but if you follow that cycle, I think we're near the bottom. You know, it's not financial advice, but we're near the bottom. So I think, you know, just stick with it. But now is the right time to learn about the crypto, get into crypto when the market's low. Just get to understand it. And I'm looking forward to. I think 2019 is the year that we've had a lot of ICO raises in the past. We've had a lot of projects that have got started, but not many have kind of come into fruition. So I think 2019 is the year that we're going to see a lot of real good projects actually go out there and start getting kind of mass global adoption. So I think this is the year that we've all been waiting for a while.
True. It has no choice but to be, because the happening happens in 2020. So we have
exactly.
Gotta be ready. Hey, as always, folks, thanks for watching and jumping into crypto. Again, have a happy Friday, and make sure you go ahead and download and check out Cudo Miner. Again, they have a Telegram channel where they're pretty active on that. Where they take your feedback. For all those interested in not only mining, but a way to make some money in this crypto market when you just can't trade all the time, or maybe you're not a good trader. Here's another alternative. Again, you've heard the CEO, Matt Hawkins, here with us from Cudo Miner. And again, we appreciate you being here. Thank you, Matt.
Great, thanks. I really appreciate it.
Hey, if you all like this, make sure you hit that like and share button. And of course, subscribe to this channel for more. Until next week, cheers and thanks for watching. Hey, Matt, thanks again for being here, and we will talk to you soon. We can't wait to keep up with your project and see how it goes.
Thanks, guys. My pleasure.
All right, cheers.